Hello, welcome to my reselling channel, Flippin Hippos. I'm Star. Today is Tuesday, so we're going to do a tutorial video. A few weeks ago, I did a video on the anatomy of a great eBay listing, and today we're going to do the anatomy of a great Poshmark listing. It was a request put in on one of my videos by one of you guys, which I always appreciate when I get requests. Julie Ann C requested this on that original eBay listing. She wanted to see more platforms. Actually, she had a good list of ideas for new videos. So Julianne C, thank you very much. And you guys may hear her name quite often as I attribute the tutorial videos to her that she suggested. If you have a suggestion or have something you would like to see me screen share or show you a tutorial on or teach you, by all means, let me know in the comments. I do really like when you guys do that. I can come up with tutorial ideas all day on my own, but I don't know if it's what people are directly interested in at the current time. If you say, hey, I want to see this, I know it has interest. I know it's, current events, so to speak. So we're going to do the anatomy of a great Poshmark listing today. And then we're going to do a part 2 next week of how eBay differs from Poshmark. So creating a good Poshmark listing really does need 2 videos. The first one, just talking about the aspects of a listing and how to make a great one. But then we kind of need to delve in just a little bit deeper and talk about how Poshmark is different than eBay and certain things you may want to do to your listings when you're putting them on Poshmark versus eBay instead of just straight cross listing them. So let's jump on in. I do have a little list here I made for myself, so I need my glasses to see it. So the first thing on Poshmark that is the most important is the photos. Poshmark has a different layout than eBay or the other platforms, and you need the cover photo to be chef's kiss perfect. The cover photo on Poshmark is everything. You need a bright, clean background. It doesn't have to be a white background or have the background removed. There's a lot of unique and creative photos on Poshmark that have different backgrounds like wood or a solid color. I don't recommend using props, but that's a personal preference. If you want to use props in your photographs for Poshmark, I would say go ahead and do it. I don't so much recommend it for eBay at all because you can run into issues of how come I didn't receive all the items in the photo. Buyers can just be a little weird sometimes. So I try not to put anything in the photograph that's not included in the sale unless it's like a measuring tape or something like that. But on Poshmark, you can get a little creative and have some accoutrements in your photo. You need to make sure you get the front, the back, the tags, any and all flaws, the measurements. And again, that first photo needs to sell your product. That first photo needs to speak a volume, 1,000 words. It needs to act like you don't even have a description written and it's telling the whole story. It's super important because of the way Poshmark is laid out. Those photos that the buyers see is what draws them into the listing. Your title on Poshmark is also important, and it can follow the same pattern as eBay. You want your brand first, the item type, the style, the size, and the color, and then your keywords. So right there, you might notice a little bit of a difference. A lot of folks on eBay put the size like right after brand and item type because of how eBay's app looks when buyers are searching for an item. The title gets cut off and they want the size more to the left. On Poshmark, a lot of sellers put the brand, the item, the style, and then the size. But that's really interchangeable, and I think you can do either way. You want the color and you want keywords, as many keywords as you can get without using anything that is not relevant to your listing. So an example of a good title on Poshmark would be Free People Oversized Waffle Neck Tunic Sweater, Women's Small Cream. Now, that same title on eBay, I would recommend Free People Sweater, Women's Size Small, Oversized Waffle Knit Tunic Cream. Now, I do just copy the same title from eBay over to Poshmark, but maybe it would behoove me to fiddle fart around with it, change it up a little bit for Poshmark when I'm cross-listing. So then we get to the category and the size. You always want to make sure you choose the correct department. And if you're in doubt, you can do a quick Google search. That AI overview at the top will usually tell you the exact category to put items in if you're confused. And that goes for all platforms. But you always want to make sure you're in the right department. If someone's searching for a women's sweater and you have it under women's tops, they're not going to find your sweater. Size absolutely matters for search. Just think about yourself and when you're shopping. I'm not looking for all the random sweaters. I have sweaters on the brain today, apparently, but I'm not looking for all the random sweaters. I'm looking for my size. And then I'm probably looking for the style. Do I want a zipper? Do I want a cardigan? Do I want a pullover? And what color do I want? You want to select the appropriate brand when you're down picking the brand. I guess that kind of falls under the same reasoning. If someone's looking for a Ralph Lauren skirt and you have accidentally selected Talbot's, they're not going to find your skirt. So you want to always make sure, double check if you're using AI, especially double check if you're cross-listing. Just make sure that you have the category, the size filled in correctly, the correct brand. You can put unbranded for unbranded items. That's what I do with all my costume jewelry. That works pretty well. That's fine. And then in your description, you always want to have the condition, the measurements, fabric, style details, flaws, and care instructions if relevant. You can see how this is different from eBay. But this is really good information to have in your description. So I would even go so far as to say maybe you make this your hallmark. Like your description always has these things. These are good. And then you can just cross-post it to all the platforms. It would not hurt to have all of this information in your descriptions everywhere. As of now, I just put like another little description of the item and measurements and any style details or anything like that. But this is a good list. So let me say it one more time and you can implement it into your listings on Poshmark and everywhere else if you want. Condition, measurements, fabric, style details, flaws, and care instructions. You may also want to copy and paste your title down into your description. On Poshmark, when a buyer searches for an item, their algorithm doesn't just search titles. On eBay, only the titles are searched and referenced to give a buyer the results for their search. Poshmark is different because it actually searches the titles and the description. So you want to have as much information in both as you can so you can show up in as many searches that are relevant to your item as you can. So style tags are very unique to Poshmark. They're just like hashtags. So think of them like hashtags, but these are style tags. These are words like cottagecore, boho, minimalist, Y2K, preppy, goth, fairycore, all of those aesthetics, all of those really good style keywords. And I am very guilty of not really paying attention to the style keywords. I start all my listings on List Perfectly. I use their AI and they give me hashtags and then I just cross list and use those. It would probably behoove me to look at those when they cross post and make sure they're style keywords and not so much adjectives like sweater, Halloween, things like that. The style keywords absolutely help buyers find what they're looking for because these are terms people are using to search items. If they're going to a festival, a music festival, they're looking for festival skirt. If they want something that's Y2K or preppy, that is what they are searching. So these style keywords are very important. Make sure you choose accurate colors, and you can choose up to 2 on Poshmark. So if your item is just one solid color, just choose that color. But if it has multiple colors or more than one, you want to absolutely choose two. Get as much information in there as you can. Make the primary one what's the most, and the secondary one the next most. So, like for instance, with my t-shirt here, I would put black first and then probably orange second. Your pricing strategy on Poshmark, you absolutely have to leave room for offers to likers. That is a core part of the Poshmark community, and their buyers expect offers. So you have to price a little higher. You can offer bundle discounts, shipping discounts, make sure you're sending offers. All of that is part of Poshmark. It's just part of that community. It's part of what people expect over there. So you need to be doing the bundle discounts, shipping discounts. You need to be sending offers, and you can price high and give yourself room for that because it's kind of expected on Poshmark. Pricing differently on Poshmark than eBay makes a lot more sense because, one, buyers will pay more on Poshmark, but you're going to get more sales from offers on Poshmark than outright buys. And I think on eBay, it's kind of a mix, but you are more likely to get a sale on Poshmark with an offer. And if you price high enough, you can do all of these, play these psychological games. I really wish we could just list items at the price we wanted and they would sell, but we got to play games, and every platform that we list on has different games that you have to play. There's offers, there's boosts, there's promoted. I mean, there's all kinds of games we have to play. I really wish we didn't, but we do. And if you want to make sales and be successful, you have to learn the different games on the different platforms. And so Poshmark is price high and do all the things, the bundles, the offers, the discounts. You can use the inventory quantity on Poshmark if you want. I tend to just use it. I mean, I really don't even use it. Like if I have something that has two or three, I do put that in on eBay, but on my other platforms, I just list it as a one-off. And then if it sells, I can relist it. That can get kind of confusing, and it does leave room for error. So if you have more than one, you may want to put that. You need to share your closet. Now, more recently, Poshmark has kind of leaned into, oh, sharing isn't as important anymore. You just want to have really great listings and be active and consistent every day. I really feel like sharing is still important. When you share your closet, your items are being touched, they're being moved, they're being pushed up in the algorithm. There was a time when sharing was more important. I will say that. There was a time when sharing was the end-all, be-all on Poshmark, but it's still important. And there's so many automated places out there to share your closet for you now. List Perfectly, like if you're already using List Perfectly and you already have a subscription, it's built in, you can have it share your closet. There's a lot of places that'll do it for you, and if not, do it yourself. It's super important. You want to share yourself. You can share items to the parties they have each day. You can share community shares, but it really does help your closet visibility. And it's almost like promoting for free. Now, Poshmark does offer promoted listings now. I don't use them. I use them on eBay for reasons, lots of reasons. But on Poshmark, I've always kind of felt like if you just kept sharing your closet, you were getting a free boost. You were getting a promotion almost without having to pay for it. So just make sure you're sharing your closet. Then there's a little bit more info I want to give you on offers. There's several different ways you can do offers. You can do the simple offers to likers. You can bundle offers. You can counter. You can offer shipping discounts. You can set your closet up to have a designated bundle price. If they buy 2 or more, it's 20% off, and buyers can then build their own bundles and just buy from you and get that discount. It saves you from having to always go in and bundle for people. And now Poshmark actually has a new feature called Smart Sell, where you can turn it on to automatically send offers on your behalf. List Perfectly can do that as well as other automations out there. So there's plenty of ways to send offers and bundles. And before you make your listing go live on Poshmark, always edit, always double check. Actually do this on every platform. Most of us are using AI to some extent now. You always want to double check. If you have a VA, double check yourself. We all make mistakes. We're all human. So just kind of go through and make sure you have good photos, measurements, keywords, brand, style, tags, the correct price. It's in the right category. You have pointed out any flaws and called them out in photos as well as describing them. And it's ready to go. So let's actually go look at a listing and see if we can improve it together. Let me share my screen and we will look at one together. Before I do that, let me add, this was a lot of information. And if you are not like a seasoned seller on Poshmark or you're new to Poshmark, a lot of what I was talking about may have been Latin to you. It may have just gone gibberish over your head. You may have been like, what's a smart sale and what's a bundle and how do I set up? If anything I talked about didn't make sense and you want to learn more or you need to understand or you need it explained, by all means, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to come back and type out a good response to you or follow it up with a video response if need be. This is a teaching channel and that is what I'm here for and that is what I love to do. My favorite videos are helping other resellers become more successful and learn the platforms and learn how to do things. And you would be doing yourself a disservice if you heard something and didn't ask about it, because it may be something that's important to help you be a better reseller. So if you don't understand something, there's no cause to be embarrassed. Look, we were all new once. Just ask me, what the heck does that mean? And we'll get you an answer, okay? And that goes for any video. If you ever have questions or need me to explain something better than I did or in more depth, that's fine. Just ask. I really don't mind at all. In fact, I would rather spend my time making videos and comments in response to people than anything else that I can come up with on my own. So let's go. I had this one open. Let's look at this and see if we can improve it. So you can see this is a Massimo romper, new with tags, XXL. So let's see what we can do with everything that we just learned in this video together. What can I do to improve this? Well, knowing what we just saw, I might put heather gray at the front. So maybe I'll put Massimo heather gray halter shorts romper, women's plus size XXL, and then add these jumper and tie waist things at the end. I've got the ingredients here. I got some details about the drawstring, sleeveless, lightweight, the MSRP, some details up here. So I think the description's good. It is a jumper romp suit. Romp suit? It's a romp suit. Y'all ever wear a romp suit? It's a jumpsuit and a romper. It is in the correct category. I only have one. That's the correct size. It is new with tags. This is the correct brand and the color. But you see down here, the style tags. These are the hashtags that Liz perfectly created for me. And while they're descriptive, I don't necessarily know that I would call these style tags. So what I would do if I couldn't think of any on my own, obviously if I had a floral dress here, I off the top of my head could say, hey, that's romantic, that's cottagecore, that's fairycore. I don't really know a lot of good style keywords for a romper. So we're going to save the photo to my computer real quick, go over here and open up ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it, can you please give me some style keywords for this romper? And you can just ask Google as well. You don't have to use ChatGPT. I just really like ChatGPT. I have taken a lot of time to train my ChatGPT to work perfectly with my business. It knows me inside and out. It knows my business inside and out. So I do like to use it, but you can just ask Google. Bandu. I don't know. Is that like a style? You still feel like styles. Athleisure. That might be good. Beach cover up. I mean, those aren't like aesthetic style words, but you also don't want to spend too much time on any one item. You want to be as efficient as possible and go through your processes as quickly as possible so you can list as much as possible in the least amount of time. So you never want to spend a terrible amount of time researching or looking up these words. So I think I'm going to put beach, vacation, and athleisure. We'll just do those. That's what I'll change it to. So let's go down here to where'd they go? Hello, there you are. So I got to delete these. And then I can add in vacation. I can add in athleisure's right there. I could do it from the drop down. And then when I say beach, there you go. And we'll go down to the price. Looks pretty good to me. 19 is good. And my smart sale is on. And 13 is probably the lowest. I don't want to go on that. That's fine. And so we'll just update it. So if you want to see me do more listings, let me know. But I think just doing one with you and then applying what we've learned in this video was good. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comment section. And I will be back next week with part 2 about things that matter on Poshmark that don't really matter on eBay. There's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't just hit copy and paste and change it a little bit for Poshmark. So we will get really into that next week. And then again, if you need to say something or ask something, do it in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. You know why? It helps me feed all my hungry hippos. I'll see you in the next one.